of the major arcana. Here at the Pomegranate major arcana.
Hello. I'm all wrapped up cozy in my house.
And I'm all comfy in the woods with my squirrels.
So, yes, here we are to discuss the Empress tarot card. And I have to say, back in the day when I first was doing this, the Empress was my favourite card.
Ah.
Yeah, I really I liked the fact that she kind of, surrounded herself by all the kind of comforts and nice things in life. And I thought, that's got to be a good thing to aspire to.
I know, right? I believe I had learned her as the power behind the throne. The quiet support. She's so much more than what I was taught her as.
Oh, yeah.
So flipping much more. Here,
Yes.
let me find her. I'll put this one up first.
Oh, that's very lovely.
I felt that picture really suited her.
Definitely. That's very lovely. That makes her look a little bit like Queen of the Fairies.
Yeah, it does.
But no, I mean, she is gorgeous. I mean, I love what she's wearing. It just looks so comfortable, but yeah, it's kind of nice. It's not comfortable and slobby. It's comfortable and sort of elegant.
I love the way it drapes. It's obviously fine material. I mean, I think that everything that she would have to be the finest, and not because she's an elitist or anything, but because being Taurus, she's so very Taurus. She's got that tactile sensuality that needs to feel beautiful things against her. The best taste, the best everything, because
see that makes me feel she's a little bit of both Taurus and Libra, like both of the signs that Venus rules, because with Libra I see that kind of like fashion and elegance and tastefulness, and I feel like it's not just about actual comfort, it's also about she's comfortable when she knows she's kind of like everything around her is like high quality as well.
Yeah.
It's slightly snobby, possibly, isn't it? It's slightly kind of designer label-y, slightly. It doesn't have to be, but it could be.
As long as it felt good. And it has to be beautiful and
sometimes, I don't know about you, but like you could see, like let's say a pair of shoes, and you could see an identical pair of shoes, and one of them is £20 and one of them is £200, but the £200 one, it's got the branding or the label, and there would be some temptation to have the 200 one. You'd feel better in them just psychologically, because it sounds mad and stupid, because they would probably look exactly the same, and if you didn't know, they'd wear exactly the same. There's something about knowing. And I remember reading a book once when I was young and used to read books, and it was called Flowers for Mrs. Harris. This was the name of the book. And it was written by the person that wrote the Poseidon Adventure. Well, anyway, he wrote this book called Flowers for Mrs. Harris. And it's about this cleaning lady, and her job is to go into other people's homes and just clean them. And she's just a very simple, unpretentious person. But she has this dream that one day she'll save up enough money to buy herself a Dior dress. Oh. And it has to be a Dior dress. And that's what this book's about, And she does. She gets the Dior dress, and there's some younger girl in it. I don't know whether it's her neighbour or something, but she basically says to this girl, "You can borrow my dress to wear for this dance or whatever." And I think there's an accident or something, and the dress gets ruined. But Mrs. Harris doesn't. She's cool about it because she just knows that she owns this Dior dress, and that's all that mattered. She sort of like achieved her sort of goal, that it was Dior. It was something like that, the book. It was a really sweet, charming sort of book. And I just see the Empress could be bothered about the label, because that would make her feel better, like knowing it was the actual label. There could be another version of the Empress as well, where, you know, you might read it, all she wants to do is feel comfortable, like that the chair feels comfy. She doesn't care what the branding is or whatever. You know, there is, that version is equally valid, but it depends on the question. But I would go maybe with this card with things like soft furnishings and interior design and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. She is the only one. I mean, all the other majors and even the minors, if they're sitting on stone or wood. And she's got her little pillows and her little blanket. And
Absolutely.
I know it's a stone and a decoration, but there's so many times, and I don't remember who had said it that planted in my head, that so many times now I can see the heart with the Venus sign on it as a box of chocolates.
Oh yeah.
She's loved. You
Oh
know?
yeah, definitely. But I remember saying about the Queen of Pentacles and her being kind of closely related, and I'm just thinking slightly differently about her to the Queen of Pentacles now, the way just this conversation is triggering me. But like, for example, I would say if the Queen of Pentacles was given a sum of money, right, she might spend it on something like a new washing machine or something practical, or a new dishwasher or something like that, you know, to make her job of managing or keeping the house more efficiently. Whereas I think the Empress would spend it on a work of art or nice curtains. You know, I mean, she would just want her surroundings to be pleasing rather than something practical like a washing machine. So that, I think that's where I'm starting to see the difference.
Very, very good point of view, because I've seen it in my head, and I'd never considered that before either, but that's definitely there's more of a common sense, practical nature to the Queen of Pentacles.
I
Not to
think
say
so.
that the Empress is flighty or silly, but I mean, look at her tiara.
I think that's quite funny. Someone sitting out there in her garden with that tiara on, you know, it's like, I don't know. I just think beautiful surroundings and beautiful things make her feel good and make her happy. And therefore, she's a nicer person to sort of be around.
And I think she's generous too. I mean, I love the way she's looking right at us. There is no go away vibe to her. I
She's
think
pretty as well, isn't she?
Very beautiful.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
I know a lot of times that she's tied to the Earth Mother, Mother Earth.
Yes.
Mother Nature. And I just remember that. No, you probably didn't have this commercial, but back in the 70s when I was little, we had this commercial. It was a butter commercial. And this woman, dark-haired woman, but beautiful woman, came in and crashed everything, and lightning flashing. And she says, "You don't mess with Mother Nature."
Oh my God.
And the way she's holding up her little scepter, I can see that you don't mess with Mother Nature.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
That's lovely. Oh my God. And that looks like Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, it does.
That is an amazing image. Now, I had a client who knew I didn't do health readings, but she did say to me, would I be willing to check about a toothache that she'd had for a while? And I thought, I don't mind doing a toothache. It's not quite, you know, it's not quite the same as medical. You know, toothaches, it didn't sort of seem too bad to agree to do that. And I knew her a bit. And and she said, oh, she said she'd had some treatment done, but it was still really hurting, and how long was it going to go on for? And I got the Empress reversed. And I said, I think you're going to be uncomfortable for a while. So yeah, it's just discomfort, isn't it? So
Yeah.
so it answered that question sort of perfectly.
Yeah. Because in reverse, she's not comfortable at all.
No, that isn't comfortable. That's not how that chair is supposed to be, is it?
And
Right,
in
the
reverse,
chair's lying on the floor and it's like you try to sort of sit in it kind of thing. No, that's not comfortable. But I
I've
did,
seen her also in
yeah.
severe neglect.
Oh yeah. And neglect of herself, of her diet, of her children, like welfare, her garden, whatever. Yeah, definitely so. But I think she is all about the senses. So I think unless we're reminded by perfume companies or whatever, we often lose conscious awareness of our senses. We take our senses for granted. And not everybody's got all their senses, have they?
No, that's true. Mm.
And we should every so often, I think, remind ourselves what our senses are capable of, because they can give great pleasure, they can give great warnings, they can be very off-putting. Certain things that your senses are a massive part of being alive, aren't they?
They are. And I had taken a short class with the Rhine Institute just last month. I had the last one this last Tuesday. And it was a class on developing intuition. And one of the things that they recommended was that every day you take 5 minutes per sense and just see what you're feeling, even your butt in the chair. Um, what are you smelling? What do you
Yeah.
see? Like really look and develop. If you develop the senses that are considered normal, that lets you understand what's coming in that isn't normal when we get
Mm-hmm.
intuition or ESP or some kind of psychic hit. So developing our natural senses, like what does this feel like? Or I can feel these headsets on my ears type of thing. It was really cool. It's been a really cool experiment for me to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she is the mastercard for that sort of thing. Absolutely. And I kind of like feel like I think that's a great exercise. Everyone should do that.
I
I mean,
love it.
like at the end of each day, even if you kind of like before you go to bed or whatever, what what do I remember that I particularly smelt today or touched today or ate today or tasted, whatever, and what's the first thing that springs to mind with all of the senses?
Yeah. And of course, I mean, all those other pictures, like I said, where their butts are on that cold stone, she's aware of every nerve ending in her body. She
Yeah,
ain't gonna sit on that cold stone. She don't have to.
yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I think that is a very big quality of hers and a big archetype about her. It's that kind of awareness of the senses, and it probably the reversal of that would be, if you were going that way with it, that this is someone who either is very insensitive or just not in, just not in touch with their own or anybody else's senses, or
Or
perhaps,
I think
yeah,
we were gonna
or
say the same thing.
doesn't has lost one of their senses, maybe.
Or is so overly sensitive they can't stand anything. I had a friend in Japan. She had been in a motorcycle accident and she landed on her face, God bless her. But what it really affected was she absolutely lost her sense of smell,
Right.
which affected her sense of taste. And we think of losing sight or touch feeling or any of that is, or hearing, as being the most horrible thing. But watching her go through that, it was hell on her.
Yeah.
Any of those senses, if we were cut off from them. You talked about that deprivation tank. I couldn't have stood that for 2 seconds.
Mm.
So yeah, I
No,
think
I remember losing my sense of smell after a cold or something for a while. It was gone for like a couple of weeks or something, and I was very aware that I didn't have it, because if I sprayed a perfume or something, I thought, I'm not smelling this. I'm just not getting the, and even like really strong smells that you're meant to really smell. It was like I wasn't getting them. And then one day I went into a shop or something, and there was this man in the shop who I got quite close to him to get something, and he absolutely stank. He was just really, I don't know whether he just farted or something, but it was just a real, body, I don't know what it was really horrible smell came off him, and I thought, my smell has come back. Thank you, man.
yeah.
It was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. The first thing I smelled was something really gross, but I just knew it was that.
You were thrilled.
It was really funny.
Being in touch with those senses can open all new worlds. Oh, like seriously, sense of smell. We smell stuff all day, every day. But how many times do you even realize it?
Exactly. You just take so much for granted.
When I lived in Japan, when I first moved there, I actually got there on a Wednesday. And the only reason I remember what day I got there was every Wednesday, and this was over 30 years ago. They may not do this anymore. They didn't bury people. They burned the bodies in a crematorium. So every Wednesday they would burn the
Right.
bodies, and the smell was horrible.
Oh my
It
God,
was
Sharon.
horrible. But I lived there for
Oh,
3
I can't
years.
imagine.
And so I think it was about second month in, I didn't even smell the bodies burning anymore. The only
You
way I
do
would,
become immune, don't you?
yeah, you become
Yeah.
immune to smells. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do honestly think you could walk into a situation, like, let's just say there was a nice smell, or you can, I think, be attracted to a person because they smell nice.
Oh, yes.
It smell, and I think this the sense of smell lingers in your memory as well a lot, because I can remember when I was really young and lived at home with my sister. At one point they bought us bunk beds, like with two beds on top of each other, and they were made out of real wood, and the wood had a smell, and I know I would recognize that smell again anywhere.
It is incredibly linked. They've done actually quite a few studies on the link of smell to memory. And
Yeah.
I was really surprised, but there's actually a type of clairvoyance that's linked to smell.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because yes, that's true, because don't sometimes like psychics say they'll pick up on tobacco, or it will just like waft past,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's quite a major sort of thing, to be honest. Like, you can smell environments, can't you? You could smell if you were by the sea or in a forest or something like that. I think you even if you were blind. I'm sure I've told you this before. When I was at drum school, and we did this exercise called the sensorama, and it was like we were all split into groups, and we had to go away, and we had to work out the world of the play based on every sense apart from sight. And so
Ooh.
so the group would get together, a kind of like an experience where the person would walk through the sensorama and feel the play without seeing it or watching the play. So I remember I can't remember which one I worked on, But I remember I was walked through The Merchant of Venice, the Shakespeare play, and it was kind of like, because it was Venice and it was on the sea or something, you know, like gondolas and that. I remember you had to take your shoes and socks off, and you were walking through sort of like cobbles and that, and then you got on this wobbly thing, and you felt like you were standing on a boat, and they had, well, I don't know if it was a bowl of water, I don't know how they did it, but I felt like I was standing on a boat on a kind of water, and then people were brushing past you and you were feeling bits of material and that, and smells were going under your nose, and everyone was like chatting like you were in a hustly bustle. It was brilliantly done. And then they were letting you taste things, they were giving you things to eat and drink, but you couldn't see it. And I've never forgotten that. It was a really, really powerful thing, but it was called a sensorama, and it was creating the environment or the world of the play. And I just think, Empress.
Empress.
Empress. I don't see the Queen of Pentacles quite going down that extreme. She's just more kind of practical, and, you know, or your house will be neat, tidy, efficient, well run, blah, blah, blah. But the Empress, somehow it goes in this whole other bigger way.
Yes. And the way she's looking right at us, she knows everything that's going on, very
Yes.
aware of everything going on around her, and in
Yes.
control of it.
But although she is the ultimate mother, I would say she is the ultimate mother. And if somebody was saying, am I ever going to have a child? And she came up upright, I would say that is a very good sign, extremely good sign. But to me, she is one side of being a parent, and not the other side. She needs the Emperor. And I think, although there are like families that are one parent families, if that is the case, that person has to, you know, if that person is trying to do the best possible job they can, they've got to take on all of the kind of the comforts and all of the kind of appreciation of lovely things that the Empress kind of will give you, and then they need to kind of add into that equally the structure of the Emperor, which obviously isn't for another video. So she's only one side of the parenting coin, I believe, but she's massive.
She is, and I would say that she is extremely nurturing. That's why I think that she shares all that bounty with her. She doesn't just keep it to herself. She would spoil the snot out of us.
Do you
Very
think she'd be
nurturing.
one of those houses that, like, if you visited her, it would just be the most marvelous sort of experience to go to her house, and her house would be lovely, and she would feed you, and she'd be a great hostess, all that sort of thing.
Not only that, and this is going to be a really weird thing to say, but as much as she loves comfort, it wouldn't matter how elite or elegant or proper she was, she would let us put our feet on the couch.
Yeah. Yes, I tell it's because it's comfortable, and it's make yourself at home, isn't it?
Yes.
It's home sweet home.
I would never want to leave.
No. Amazing. If you were a man, like, let's say, or a gay woman, right? Is the Empress the sort of feminine, you know, side of things that you would want to marry, or is the Empress someone that you would just want to kind of bit of casual fun with? I think she's the marrying type.
She's the marrying type. Oh
She's
yeah.
for the long haul.
I don't think that she would put up with casual fun.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, maybe the Queen of Wands for that sort of activity, but the Empress to me is like definitely for the long-term relationship.
Yeah, she is.
The long-term serious relationship with consequences.
And surprisingly, and Paul may not like to hear this, but Paul in our family, Paul is the Empress energy.
Ah,
And I am not emperor energy at all. I'm too fun. Well, I like to have fun too much to be disciplinary or like the
right.
emperor. But Paul is definitely the more empressy of us as far as how we show, emotion and everything. I'm
Yeah.
I'm probably fairly masculine, where he's got the feminine qualities that
Okay.
nurture and fix and
Yeah.
take care of.
Yeah.
I'll forget I
I
have
can see as
kids.
I'm having this conversation with you, all the reasons why she was my first ever favorite tarot card. Like, at to begin with, I was like in awe of all the cards and a bit kind of like bewildered by them all.
Yeah,
And somehow she emerged as my favorite. And I realized, oh, I've got a favorite card. Like it just naturally sort of eventually happened. And it was her. And it wasn't that I went off her, it was just that certain other cards kind of, I thought, oh my God, I can feel myself. I think I've got a new favorite, right? So she didn't go down. It was just some others sort of came up.
that's just how we grow. I
Yeah.
mean, if we, well, the Page of Cups is so phenomenally important to me. So that
Yes.
particular favorite won't change because of the relationship I have with him. But, other cards, it's like I go through which cards oh, what the hell is this card saying to me? I'm from week to week, month to month, sometimes years, where we're growing, we're developing as human beings constantly. So our favorites and our least favorites, it's the lessons they want that the universe wishes to share with us at the time.
Mm,
So it wouldn't always share the same universe, or we'd be static, or the same
yeah.
lesson.
Yeah. No, I think she's a good one to sort of sometimes sort of think, I want to, like, like, just say, I want to have a whole weekend of being the Empress where I'm just pampered and I'm just in at home and my house is all tidy and I've just got nice food and I've got my feet up and I just feel no stress and I just enjoy everything that kind of wafts my way.
Oh, I would.
But she is, I suppose, as if I was going to kind of combine her with any other card for that, I'd probably go with the Star card. That the Star and the Empress, that combination of the two.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's just
Doesn't get
like,
much, it doesn't get much better than that, does it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Unless you're someone totally different than us and you don't want to sit and just enjoy. There are some people who would rather have adventure, so that kind of weekend would be hell to
Yeah,
them. But for you and me,
especially
ah,
now, because I just feel so like, even though we're not getting out much because of the pandemic, I just feel so busy. I've just got so much to do. I just feel in such a mess. I just feel, yeah. So right now, to sort of say, right, we're treating you to an Empress weekend, I think, praise the Lord. No.
and then when you put her to the Star, okay, we had this commercial again with commercials. I wanted to be a commercial producer when I woke up because I love a good commercial. When
Ah,
I woke up, when I grew up, I can't speak today, I
all right.
promise. Or I'm sorry. See? So we had this commercial, and it would be you'd see this woman, different women through different years, and they'd be all frazzled, and then they'd just throw everything up in the air and go, Calgon, take me away. And Calgon was this bath product that smelled good and made great bubbles. So the Empress to the Star with the pool, Calgon, take me away, bubble bath.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow.
It's man. Oh, that's why I was giggling. If I could learn to
Yeah, no, it's
speak.
amazing. Did you bring any other empresses?
Oh, now I like am absolutely crazy about Chiara Marchetti. You're about to see exactly why. It's Tarot Grand Lux.
Oh my word.
This
Wow.
Empress,
Oh
that
my God.
is everything, Empress.
All
Mother
those animals,
Earth.
their babies as well. Oh my
Yes.
God.
And she, she's, I can't even speak. Every time I look at that card, I'm struck just kind of dumb.
It's the ultimate Empress. That's amazing.
Tarot Grand Lux by Ciro Marchetti. I absolute Empress. Everything that she
Yeah.
is, it's right there.
Gosh, you have to show that to Thomas. I mean,
Ooh,
that is
yeah.
incredible. That is incredible art. It doesn't need to
That's
say, it doesn't even need to say Empress on it, does it? Let's be
no,
honest.
it does nope.
That
That's why I bought
screams
that deck.
Empress.
And how protective she is of that
Yes,
child in her arms.
yes.
Ah, I can't. Yeah, I don't even. I just want to keep looking at it, and that's so
What an
beautiful.
amazing card.
Now you're
Mine, it's a
Empress.
bit weird, mine, but I liked
I
it.
love it.
Tarot del Fuego. So yes, she's with child. I mean, it's very much nature based. This card, it's very vibrant. I mean, she's got that bee. I mean, is it weird that the bee's covering her face? I don't know. It's like the I don't know. It's a honey bee. It's part of nature, isn't it? It's just almost like everything to do with nature is going kind of wild in this card. I mean, you've got the roots of the trees, you've got the house there, and I know it's the whole deck has got these eyeballs everywhere, but there's the world underneath it. There's mountain tops, there's waterfalls.
It's a very like I'm thinking like don't bees pollinate flowers?
Yes,
That's like a
yeah,
fertility thing. So the bee on her face. And
yeah,
then this, I mean, this is kind of very sexual and fertile itself.
yes, it is.
So I think it's just all about sexuality, sensuality, and fertility.
Yeah.
It's
It's very
insane.
Empress. It's
It
very Empress.
is.
And it's very lively. It's very vibrant. I mean, it doesn't have the relaxing quality that the Rider-Waite does at all, but it just sort of shows the how busy nature is. I mean, nature all seems very serene and quiet, but in its own consciousness, nature is incredibly busy all the
All the
time.
time. And I just saw why the bee is on her face. All these little bees are pollinating this flower, and that bee's pollinating the flower in her tummy.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, that's a powerful card.
I think so. I think it's very, very powerful. It's kind of almost like the fundamentals of life itself is all captured in this one card. And I just almost feel like if Earth is just allowed to kind of uninterruptedly get on with its job, we can all kind of live with it and off it and by it.
I have to agree with you there. I mean, look at the differences. The the virus, which is a horrible thing for the human
Yeah.
race. Oh, we've discussed this before, but the
Mm.
rest and not the uninterrupted rest that Earth needs, but the ability to not have so much going on all the time. I think she's had some time to heal. Not
Yeah.
enough. Not enough. But
Mm.
things will be enforced. And I see this in this card too, as where nature, Mother Nature, when we say Mother Nature, we think, all loving and friendly, and she's always there for us, but you see that brutality there too, like in this right here where those
Yeah,
flowers were just ripped up by the roots. Nature will make allowances to take care of herself.
yeah, yeah.
And I think the Empress will too.
I think there's a big, deeper discussion about the Empress on a very kind of Mother Earth level, that
Mm,
people who really sort of follow the protection of the planet would, I think, get a lot out of this image and all of the symbols in this card. You know, I think we're sort of touching on the surface of it here. That's
right.
how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like it's a little bit of a kind of an attempt to kind of like see just exactly what this card is saying. But I think there's a whole lot more going on that is really taken for granted, and is really very dangerously ignored by a lot of people, just because that's how they are.
Every day, every
That's how
day.
we are.
But even as a human Empress, not as Mother Earth, it also shows me that this particular energy, this particular person, whether male or female, as nurturing as they are, as loving as they are, as friendly as they seem, I don't think there's any kind of doormat going on. I don't think they would take any bullshit.
Yeah.
They would stand up for themselves.
No, I just feel this hits me, just how big a system the Earth as a planet it has to play in order to sort of sustain itself and sustain all of the life on it, not just human life, but the animal life, the whole ecosystem. The Mother Earth planet has a huge job, and it's a huge machine that is very intricate and has a lot of components to it. That's kind of like what's hitting me, but touching on it with hitting me with this card. And I just feel exactly what you said. This energy is not a doormat by any means. This energy, she might be luxurious, she might sit around and appreciate all the beauty and what have you, but when it comes down to it, she will get the job done. And if she has to call upon her relatives, such as the Queen of Pentacles or those associated with her, to delegate, so that's fine too, you know, but the job will get done.
Yeah.
And she'll make, because she's responsible for it, even if she doesn't do it all herself.
And I know I'm going like a little deep here or left field or whatever, but the presence of those bees, that to me is extremely powerful because bees are such a small thing. Bees have been dying off because of man-made pesticides and pollution and different things. But look at how we're learning as a race how important those bees are to our survival. Not just the Earth's survival, but to our survival.
Yeah,
I don't know where I was going with there, but I think it's an
yeah.
important part of that card.
No, it's a very important part because it is right there. When I say in your face, it's right in her face, isn't it? You can't miss it. It's bang there in the middle of the card.
Hmm.
And yeah, it does definitely make you think. Wow.
I really like that Empress because, I mean, the other one, the one I brought, just beautiful, struck me speechless. But this one's really making, I love anything that makes me think that hard.
Yeah,
And I'll continue to think about it when we're done here, you know?
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I like that deck.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is. I need to kind of get you to know the deck as a whole, but I've picked a few of the cards out that I've shown in these card meanings, and it's kind of cool. It would actually be really nice to get a sort of familiarity with the entire deck.
Yeah.
So
Looks
Yes.
incredibly readable. It's just like if this one card is any indication, you could be reading for a while for one spread because
Well,
they're
that's
so
true.
deep.
That is very true. Yeah. So on that note, we will leave the Empress and we will kind of move on to her other half, the Emperor, right? You know, on our next one. So if anyone's got any comments, or don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to join our tarot course.
And please leave us a like. Please.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And we will see you sort of at the Emperor very shortly. So bye for now.
Thank you for engaging with us. Please like, subscribe and share. To book a personal, in-depth reading and to learn more about our incredible courses in tarot and astrology, where we can take you on an unforgettable journey from beginner through to professional, please visit our website www.thepomegranategrove.com. Vocals by Joanna Lee. Music by Xander Heath.